The focus of the government through various policy instruments, through the budgets, has been on sustainable and inclusive development, and that's visible in multiple dimensions. And if you look at the various indices, they're all moving forward, and we've actually seen some good path-breaking stuff happen over several years in the past, and that's why the economy is doing so well. But the reality is that, we've all been challenged by COVID, and then the challenges of the geopolitical situation, which created enormous amount of inflation in the economy. And we are also faced with climate emergency on account of the excessive emissions in the developed economies. And all this puts its stress in the economy, in pockets of the economy. And that's why in some pockets we're seeing that the progress is not as much as in other pockets. And rural is one area. I think you're right that, and the government is already focusing on it, but this is an area where I think perhaps more could be done. More could be done by way of rural infrastructure, improving resilience of agriculture through better coverage of irrigation, to, collectively in a public-private partnership working together through what we call as a climate-smart agriculture to build resilience. There are also opportunities opening up through the new policy reform on leasing, forest land to private sector to create productive capacity. And today, because of the growth of certain sectors like, say, the real estate, India is actually having to import more amount of wood. So if once this is enforced with an economic model, that will immediately create employment. And these are some of the enablers, I would say, already in place. We need to progress that, and maybe in certain areas press the pedal a little more, and ultimately I think we will get the kind of results that are anticipated.
True, Mr. Puri, but the concern or the spoiler seems to be things like patchy rainfall, something which we experienced last year. It contributes to rural distress, and then of course there are many other factors. What can the government do to mitigate this in terms of a policy direction and address issues like unemployment in a more cohesive fashion?
So, that's what I alluded to in my response. I said as far as the weather events are concerned, which have a disproportionate impact on the agricultural value chains, and we have to really continue the path that the government is taking, and perhaps do more there in a spirit of public-private partnership. All of us need to come together. It's about improving penetration of irrigation. It's disseminating the information on weather and educating farmers on the practices comprehensively, over a period of time, bringing in climate-smart agriculture, the R&D to build resilience in the agri-value chains. I think these are the things that need to be done. Rainwater harvesting, amongst others. These are issues that are already being addressed through various policy interventions. I think collectively we need to come together and perhaps see how we can make faster progress on it. That's really the point I'm making. As far as employment is concerned, I think, again we must keep in mind that many indices on the positive track. Even if you look at the women participation rate in labor, that is also on an upward track. Yes, but India does have a lot more youth. So we do need to strengthen incomes in the farm area. We do need to create other opportunities. And I think the focus through PLI to make India into a manufacturing hub, to also, revitalize certain industries that have high employment multipliers, like the toys and textiles. I think these are the areas that will provide value. And to support this, CI has also suggested some kind of an, employment-linked incentive. So that provides an impetus to industry that is a large employer.